Hello all. So let's move into the problem number 14 now. Okay, let's read out the problem. So the problem is for longest Collatz sequence. So the problem says that Collatz sequence is defined as such. If the number is even, the next number in the sequence will be n by 2. So that means it will be divided by 2. That means if number we start with 16, next number will be 8. However, if the number is odd, okay, then the number will increase. It will just multiply it to 3 times n plus 1 if number is odd. So if you can imagine that if n is odd, the next number will be larger than the original one. However, next number will definitely be an even number because we are doing 3n plus 1. So if we just check example, if we start with the number 13, because 13 is odd, so next number should be 3 into 13 plus 1, which is 40. So here this example is given. If you look at that, 13 will create 40, then it will create 20, 10, 5, because 5 is odd, then it becomes 16, then 8, 4, 2, 1. So if you can see that even if you have started with 13, which is lesser than 16, but 13 has created longer sequence than if you have started with 16 would have. Okay, so that means the lesser the number doesn't mean that it will create a shorter sequence. So and ultimately everything will end in 1. Okay, so that's what the problem is saying. It will always, most probably it will always end up in 1. So the question it asks is, we'll have to start with 1 million or under 1 million, any number under 1 million, and find out which number creates the longest chain. So that's our question. We'll have to find out which number less than 1 million creates the longest chain, and we'll have to find out we'll also try to find out what is the maximum chain size it creates. The question asked is we'll have to figure out that number under 1 million which creates the longest chain. Okay, let's move into our coding and let's try to understand. So first what we'll do is we'll create a function that will generate our next sequence. So let's try to create that function. Let's say get next sequence number. So I'll just create this function. It will take the number and it will give us the next sequence number. Okay. So as the problem says, if number is even, number modulo division 2 equal to 0, then we want to return n divided by 2 or integer division by 2. Else that means the number is odd, then I would want to return 3 times n plus 1. Okay, this is not n, this will be num. Okay, so that is our function. Now let's test it quickly. Get next sequence number. If I try with 13, it's 40. If I try with 16, it gives 8, and that looks to be working. Now what next we'll do, we'll create another function which will generate the complete sequence. Okay, so let's create that function, def generate sequence. Okay, again we'll take num as an argument, then we'll have to create a sequence as a list. Okay, let's say I want to return that list or return the list as a sequence. Okay, now so what we'll do, we'll just create a while loop, while number. Okay, so I'll create another variable like n. I'll just assign it as number, because that means I start with this number, this small n, this just n is the next sequence number in the while loop. And why do we need this while loop? Because we'll have to keep doing it until it become 1. So number is the original number is holding, and n is the next number in the sequence. Okay, so what we can do, we can just say n not equal to 1. Well, n not equal to 1, we'll just, okay, we'll create one more thing. Actually, there's one more thing we'll have to figure out. Let's say we want to start with 13 and we know 16th is coming, and while trying, let's say again we started with 100, probably 13 or 16 these numbers will come. We don't want to generate it every time because that will take too much time for processing. Okay, so instead what we can do, we can just save this create a dictionary and save the number as we go along. So what we mean is, I'll just create a sequence dictionary, okay, and I'll create this as a empty dictionary, okay. And as we create a new sequence, let's say sequence starting with 13, our goal is it will be like that, okay. Sequence starting with it will be like that, so it will have the key as 13 and the value will be that sequence number, like sequence number of this 13, 16, something like that, okay, 13, 40, etc. So this way we want to construct this sequence and save it in the dictionary, so the next time when we try, we will just first look into the sequence if it is available. If not, then we'll generate the complete new sequence. So let's do like this. We'll just create a try and we'll just return sequence. Okay, sequence is our list, that empty list. Then this should return as another list, sequence dictionary. If I just go sequence dictionary, I will try to find out. So the goal is this: if n is already in the dictionary, just return the dictionary and append with the pre-existing sequence. Otherwise, that means accept. Okay. So that means it has failed. The particular number is not found in the dictionary. Then we will have to generate the next sequence number, get next sequence number, and then pass this value n. Then we'll just this sequence. So basically we are just figuring out the next sequence number, assigning it to the same, and then we are appending this next sequence number into our sequence, okay. And finally we want to return our sequence, okay. So let's test this, okay. We'll just try generate sequence. If we try to generate sequence of 13, you see it has created this number. It has created 40, 20, 10, etc. So that's exactly matching with our number, okay. So generate 13 is going to be that. Now let's say I want to try with 16, so it just gives 8 like that, okay. And okay, now what is our question asking? Question is asking that we have to generate all the sequence up to 1 million and trying to figure out what is the lowest. So what we'll have to do, we'll have to start with the smallest number and then keep creating our dictionary, okay. So let's try that. I'll create another for loop for I in range. I can start with 2 because 1 doesn't make sense, and then I'll try until 1 million, okay. So yeah, I can append this underscore just for us easier to understand. Then what we'll do, I'll just create this sequence dictionary, okay. I'll create this sequence dictionary I equal to, I need to generate sequence with I. So if I run it, basically it will create the sequence dictionary for all 1 million items, okay. What is this function sequence dictionary? Okay, it should not be square bracket, it should be a argument. Sequence dictionary is not defined. Okay, sorry, I have not defined it. Okay, let's try now. Okay, while it's running, okay, it has completed running. So while it's running, now let's create another variable as max len is equal to 0, because we will have to find out what is the max len. Okay, max len is equal to 0, then max key is equal to 0. So basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to find out of this sequence dictionary. If you just look at this sequence dictionary, let's say I'll just try 10,000. Okay, so you see you got a sequence starting from 10,000. So I have got it. Now I have got a dictionary which gives me everything. Okay, now I have to find out of all of them which one is the maximum. So I'll just create a for loop for key val in sequence dictionary dot items. I'm just checking what is the max len. Okay, if len val greater than max len, then we want to do the maximum length. we're going to set the maximum length. Maximum length is equal to length of val. So what is val? The val means the value, key and the value, and the value is basically the array or the sequence. Value is sequence here, and we are checking what is this maximum sequence length and just assigning that value here. And I just want to keep this max key as well. I want to see the key, okay, for what key that value is coming, and just keeping track of that. Now if I just run this, so now let's figure out what is the max len and what is the max key. Okay, so if you look at maximum length of that sequence is 529 and the key is this. If you really want to see that, you can just keep that sequence dictionary and give this key, pass this as a key, then you'll see the dictionary length, and this is the maximum length. Okay, so it has a huge number. So basically the question is asking what is the number which creates the largest sequence. Answer is this, 837799. That should be our answer. Let's try it out. Yes, our answer is correct. I think that's it for this current edition. Thanks for watching. If you like my video, please share and subscribe. Please, thanks again for watching.